Hello and welcome to YakWaxLips. My name is Michael, your point and click adventurer, and this is episode 8 of Let's Play kathyrain. So in the previous episode, we came to the clinic to go and get Charles Wade. Only this unfortunate human being is not letting us in. So we've had Goba come in and do a few live performances of his amazing films, which I googled some of them. I wish they were real. They're not real. But I think it says we have to intervene.
Oh, hi.
So we've already done, what was it,
about
bowl,
another show?
Sure.
natural bowl
Any
killers,
suggestions?
natural bowl killers, and Sonic and Jacob's bladder. Let's do the usual
How
surprises.
about the usual surprises?
Business as usual.
But we have to do something because he's just going in there, does this thing. I mean, do we have to? I just don't know. Do we have a look?
I can't
Like,
believe you guys did all
is
this
there anything
for
that we
me.
can?
You know, what's the smell?
I don't know.
Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. I'm seizing.
Can we stun? Can we stun gun him?
Thank you. You've been a great audience.
Let's stun gun him. Is that gonna work? Ah, no. I'm gonna try it again. It seemed like it was a bit too late. And he actually said seizure then. I mean, it seems pretty cold. But he has kind of been a guinea pig for us, so why not?
Doofus.
I'm gonna ask him again.
Oh, hi.
This is it. This is right.
Hey, how about another show?
If not,
Sure.
maybe
Any
we try the other one.
suggestions?
Maybe we try
How
Silence of the
about the
Lambert.
usual surprises?
Business as usual.
Let's go in. Come on, let's go in. Right.
I can't believe you guys did all this for me.
Use
You know, what's the smell? Bacon?
bacon. Use
Oh,
stun gun
Bobby,
and
my
go
head
over.
hurts. I'm seizing.
Nurse, he's seizing. Oh shit!
Oh, it worked. I'm sorry, Goba. I'm genuinely sorry. I feel really bad about that.
I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy
I feel
later.
exactly the same. Well, let's have a look at this. That's why we did it, wasn't it? Oh, bloody hell. I don't know. I don't know. Exit. Right, have a look at this.
Employee of the month, Carlita Mendez.
Carlita Mendez.
What a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse.
Right. Carlita Mendez.
Employee of the...
Yeah.
Employee...
Carlita Mendez. But what's the password? Username. Carlita What? Oh, wait, it's my cursor. Carlita Mendez. Oh, Carlita Men. Carlita Men. Username. C Mendez. Log in. No, password's wrong. Right. Ugh. M Mendez. Maybe it's in here.
Rows and columns of files.
Oh, come on.
Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging.
Can we have a look at any of these? Notice board.
Employee of the month, Carlita Mendez. What a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse.
Right. What can we put in here? Look
A
at computer.
They likely keep records of their patients on it. A
Have a look at
calendar
this.
from 1991. Guess they really liked that year.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. Up here? What could it be? How could we find out? Yeah, he's not going to know where to go, is
No
he?
point. I wouldn't
Gee.
even know what room to
Say
go
he
to.
will.
No thanks.
No.
Women's magazines make my brain melt.
Is there anything that I haven't clicked on? What's that up there? Nothing.
Rows and columns of files. Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging.
Don't have like a I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, I have a... Do you reckon that'll work? Let's see. Anything there? Extract admin password. Oh, right. C. Mendez, Otorgador. Otorgador. Alright. Otorgador. Remember that. Right, use computer. Otorgador. Was it Otorgador? Oh, come on. Otorgador. Log in. Excellent. Wade. Let's type in Wade. Charles Wade. Excellent. Thank you very much, Clyde. Clyde was the guy who gave me the disc. For those thinking, who the hell is Clyde? What is he on about? He's had a heart surgery. He was transferred to the facility at his own request. The initial prognosis looks good, and the patient is likely to make a full recovery in 6 to 8 weeks. Oh, well, that's good. Room 6B. Anyone else we need to... No. 6B. Let's go. Who knew that that disc was going to come in handy again? I didn't. Oh. Oh, we found him, that's why.
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
Oh, he looks mean.
So, you managed to find me.
I
did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face
What?
with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
She's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
That's not what it's about. Oh, yeah, let's be a hard ass.
I don't need to piggyback on favors. I make my own way.
A stance I can respect. Very well, you have piqued my curiosity. Who are you?
I'm kathyrain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Has that softened him?
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I
In
was.
the same clothes.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless.
Fearless.
That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Right, loads of things. I kind of feel like he's the key to a lot of these. Start at the top, shall we?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's
didn't.
just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know?
I really am.
I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he saved my life.
Saved my
I repaid
life.
the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
What?
My parents?
Yes, they ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior.
What?
I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
Ooh, that's a bit harsh. Yeah.
It's hardly Grandpa's fault. He did everything he could to set my father straight.
Oh, I never claimed to doubt Joseph's commitment, but I'm not going to ignore his flaws either. Your grandfather often used his heart when he should have used his head.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I believe it is, objectively. But I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons? What kind of reasons? I don't like this fella.
You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs.
Oh, that is
Shortly after
cold.
procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
The plot
There was a
thickens.
burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Yeah.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it.
Oh,
It
finally.
belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks.
Excellent. I can ask Aileen about him, can't I?
Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I'm not going to tell you about Mum.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I've passed the building a few times in the city. So, do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Nasty.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now.
Okay, so we're going to go to a psychiatric asylum place thingy. Let's ask about
Can
the
you
art,
tell me about the art theft?
which I don't believe.
Somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
something
That
in
can't
that.
be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
What is my
I've
interest?
learned that my grandfather went to Sue and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
They know something. They all know something. There's an undercurrent here, isn't there?
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
So ask about this photograph.
Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran. Taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
Anything else? Key?
Do you know what this key opens?
You must be truly desperate if you ask random people a question like that.
I like that answer.
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
Okay, I think I'm done. I think I am done.
Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
Anytime.
Just some boring landscape paintings.
Should we have a look at what else these are?
A
Phone.
private phone. Wade must get special privileges here.
Gramophone.
Looks like Wade brought some of his old tunes with him.
Can I see what they are? No. Should we talk to this man?
I'd rather not. He'd crush me like a twig.
Did I say talk to? Or I did. Let's look
That
at
guy
him.
is huge. I wonder how many cows he eats per day.
Right, so we need to go to the church, to the place where the flowers grow and the lights were, go back to the police. We've got a lot to do. Let's go do it right now. We've got time. We got the time. I feel really bad about Goba. Anything here? Anything over this way? What's this? Oh, she's gone. Right, sorry if it's jerky. Let's go to the church. Chat to, was it Isaac? It was Isaac, wasn't it?
Hello, Father.
Greetings, my child. I'm glad you decided to come here.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not here to join your church or anything.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good. So, with that out of the way, I have some questions.
Anything you need. I'm Isaac Price.
Kathy Rain, but I'm guessing you figured that out already.
I did. Rumors spread quickly around here. So how can I be of service?
I'm going to ask him straight away about this.
I could, but I think I have more to gain from a subtle strategy.
Oh, okay.
I'll keep it to myself for now, until I know more about this church.
Any of those? Let's ask about...
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
It was the work of the devil, I'll say that much. Joseph was a kind man. He did not deserve such a fate. You heard my speech at the funeral, Kathy. I meant every word. He was a great man who did much good for this community.
Did you know him personally?
In a way, he and my father did charity work together. Joseph was around a lot when I was young. They collaborated on a few different projects for the homeless and for the troubled youth, among other things.
So my grandfather was a member of the church?
I wouldn't say that, no. He was a friend of the church, but he wasn't a religious man. He believed only in philanthropy. That being said, Joseph was the person who convinced me to become a priest.
Really?
Oh yes, I was a teenager back then, full of rebellion, every fiber of my being wanting to distance myself from my father. Joseph made me realize my sinful pride, and showed me how I should follow my heart, regardless of what others might think. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Ah, good old Grandad.
Does the name Lily Myers mean anything to you?
It does. I was a substitute teacher in her high school for some time before I was ordained.
Ooh.
Really? Did you know her personally?
We weren't close. I only knew her as much as a teacher would know any student.
Alright, so how did she seem toward the end?
For one, she started skipping school a lot, and when she did show up, she was absent-minded and moody. She always looked depressed and hunched down like she had a whole world on her shoulders.
Any idea of what caused this change?
Not a clue. All I know is that when she returned from that last summer break, she was a whole different person.
Okay, Jimmy Cochran.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
I don't recognize that name, no.
Do you know anything about an art theft at the Wade estate in the 80s?
I have just a vague memory of reading about it in the paper.
Is that
Care
about
to
the
tell
church?
me the history of the church?
I'd be happy to. The story is a fascinating one. This church was founded by my father, William T. Price, in the 70s. Back then, he made his living as a traveling salesman and was driving through this area as he'd done so many times before. However, this day was different. My father held dark thoughts in his mind. He was angry, thinking of evil deeds, even considering swerving off the road into a rock and ending it all. Then suddenly, divine intervention. 3 bright lights appeared. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the sign of God. This epiphany was the moment my father had been waiting for. He sold all of his belongings and took me and my brother to live with him here in Conwell Springs. Soon thereafter, he built this church and started gathering followers. They began to refer to him as Father Bill.
I take it that window up there resembles what he saw when he had this epiphany?
Indeed.
It's a good
The
window.
stained glass window depicts the Holy Trinity as witnessed by my father.
Do you know exactly when or where this event took place?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious. It's a captivating story.
Well, it was in the spring of 1971, but my father never told anyone where.
Okay, so what happened then?
People flocked to Father Bill. He started teaching, writing scripture. The church flourished and continued to grow all the way up until his sudden death in 1983. That's when I stepped in to take leadership of the church.
I take it that the church started declining after the death of Father Bill?
Yes, naturally so. With such a magnetic personality, he was irreplaceable. But I assure you the church is still very much thriving.
There's no one
Looks
here.
kinda empty to me.
It's not really our peak hours.
What's up with you handing out pamphlets at funerals then? Trying to reel people in at a weak moment?
I'm going to assume you meant no disrespect, child. I'm simply providing divine guidance when it's needed the most.
Wow. He seems a bit shifty. And with his dad dying in 1983, and there's a whole shebang of stuff going on there. In 1981, 82, 83, there's got to be something crazy then. I don't think I really need to ask him anything else. Should I ask him about...
Father, do you know anything about this flower?
No, my child. Nothing at all.
No. No, I'm not really a flower
That's all I need for
person.
now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
Oh, thanks, mate. Can we have a look at things? Altar. It's a good
Impressive
window.
There's no doubt about it. Those are the smoky lights.
Should we go up
It's
to
an
the
altar.
altar?
You know, the place where they put the sacrificed goats, kids, and other crap.
Door. Oh, use door.
Locked.
Well, that was good. Use this one. No doubt, this is locked too.
Locked.
Locked. Right. Okay, so we need to head to the... where do we need to head to? The police station. Because we need to find out loads and loads more stuff about the art robbery, the things that were taken from Charles Wade. We need to head to the place where these lights are. Yeah, those are things. But we're going to do that in the next episode. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please give me a big thumbs up and maybe hit that subscribe button there. I'm excited to see where this goes next, and I hope you are too. So please stick around and have a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is you're doing. Mainly, take care.